Based on what I'm looking at right now and seeing the bottle that says whiskey, I'm excited for our conversation tonight as we welcome in a cool guest. He's a country singer-songwriter whose latest album, Atypical, is out now, and we'll dive into that here in a second. Let's welcome in Filmore.
What is up? Thank you so much for having me, man. Yes, I plan on finishing all this whiskey by the time we're done with this conversation. So.
I think your wife might be not liking that. Then she'd be on kid duty all night.
No, yeah, it would be. I'd take a terrible. I mean, for everyone watching, yes, I would be taking care of the 12 to 4 a.m. shift tonight with the newborn. So it will be a. I shouldn't drink all this. That is what we're starting. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I am curious though. This is bar conversations. I started off the same way. What's your go-to drink? What you drinking tonight?
This is Jack Daniels in a random. I just keep pouring it in this decanter. I love Jack Daniels a lot. I really do love most whiskeys. I kind of lean rye more often than not.
I like it.
Yeah, I like a good Woodford as well. I mean, honestly, dude, I like all whiskeys to be honest. Like, there's so many. I would just start naming them. But and if we're on a beer night, I'm gonna go for an IPA probably. But I love my domestics as well. So let's just say, any night you don't know what I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink something, but I probably steer away more from. Never mind. No, I drink it all. Yeah, let's be. Yeah.
Well, I loved it when you said like because I have guessed that some of them just enjoy just a random like maybe a Jack and Coke and things like that. But for you to say you love rye, things like that, I'm like you're my kind of guy because that is something I enjoy. Good high rye bourbon rye.
Oh
Now
yeah.
I know you're from Missouri, so I had to see what I could find out of my collection. I would have probably gone with little Ben Holiday, but this is also Missouri whiskey, little Stowlock.
Oh, I love it. Hell yeah.
So
That's sick. I love
so
the label on that.
yeah, they're newer ish. So I figured I'd crack a little Missouri bourbon to talk to a guy that's from Missouri.
Let's go, dude. All right. Well, I did that wrong then, but I'm in Tennessee. What's that?
See, or you did it right, or you did it right.
I did it right. I did it locationally. It's the same thing.
I like it. I like it. Now, you mentioned you're going to be on that 12 to 4 shift tonight. You and your wife just welcomed your daughter. How's girl dad life compared to boy dad life?
Honestly, I wish I could. It's kind of. I don't know yet, right? I feel like she's only 40 days old. Um, so, and we were in the NICU for probably there were 17 of those days. So she's only been home for a couple weeks now. Um, but really, I mean, if you have kids, you already know. We're changing diapers, and I'm doing my best to be important. But it's tough. She's breastfeeding, all things, the pumping, doing things through the night. So I'm just trying to help with sleep shifts and do everything I can there. But to compare, I don't know. She's pretty, so that's cool.
Well,
Um,
I was gonna say, just give it a couple years and the sass and the "Daddy, can I please?" with the big eyes, and you'll just be
yeah,
like, "Yeah."
we need to make a choice right now. Like we need to run this. We're going to run this interview back in 2 years. Okay, wherever we are in life, you and I are going to do this again in 2 years, and then I'm going to give you a real answer because I'll know then. You know what I'm saying? So.
I like it because by then I'll have a 9-year-old daughter, and already at 7, there's some. I'm a little nervous about the future.
Whew. Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, yeah, it's been amazing. It's been awesome to watch. He's 21 months, my oldest son. I mean, it's been really cool to watch him just interact with her, and he's so excited, and it's just really cool so far. So I can only imagine what the future holds, but can't wait for our 2 year conversation because we're gonna do this, every 2 years. Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I will mark that down. And sounds like you got a good big brother on your hands there. And for those that are looking, you got a nice stylish look. You got the beard and everything. But I've heard you've gone through some hairstyles over the years. Um, so what does your wife approve of this one now? Did she like the man bun back in the day? What did she like?
Look, all right. So here's where we're at. I don't know. It's like a mullet, I guess. It feels like a hockey mullet. I don't know what this is, but um, I think I'm gonna stick with this for a while. It feels adult. It feels like an adult man bun. I don't know. But yeah, the hairstyles that have occurred in my life, I feel like they all happen by happenstance or um, by ease of use. Weirdly enough, a man bun, like someone, like, you just throw it up, you don't have to worry about it. I cut the sides, it was whatever. But like honestly, like one time Michael Ray just cut the sides off. People like I'd have other artists just cut the sides of my hair for fun. Like it was like someone's gonna mess this up eventually, but didn't happen. But I had to do that, and I had my first kid, and I was like, I just buzzed my head right when I had my first kid. I was like, I'm not bringing him in with a man bun. I'm not. It's not gonna happen. But
That's where you drew the line.
just line there. That's where I drew the line. Just not that I established my whole career doing that, but no, I was never against. Like, look, at the end of the day, like, here's what it comes down to. I think hair is polarizing. I think from a marketing standpoint, it's hard to stand out in this world. It's probably harder than it ever has been right now. In the progression of my career, I was dating someone at the time that was a stylist, and it was hot in Alabama, and someone like I was just growing my hair out because I was just growing my hair out, and then turned into a thing, and it just sort of stuck, and I just ran with it. At the end of the day, there is like a real thing to hair psychology. I just want to be honest here. The first thing people notice is someone's hair. Not that that's like my motive. It just sort of happened that way. But if you like look at it, it's been very, very beneficial having weird haircuts. And I don't really have a weird haircut in comparison to like a lot of people, but like in the country format for sure. It was a different thing. Even though FGL was doing it too, and other people, it's the whole thing. But I'm just saying, like, I think it only helps, whether the haters are out there or not. I'm just trying to have you listen to my music, so gotcha.
Hey, however you go down the rabbit hole, it still counts, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it was never on purpose. The whole thing was I was growing my hair out, and someone turned it into a thing, and then you run with it, and then you look up, and it's been 9 years. You're like, what are you doing, man?
Well, you are doing, like you said, this thing called music, and is it true that you first discovered your passion for music in the fifth grade as a way to get extra recess time? Is that how it all
Yeah,
started?
that's a very real story. They offered an extra recess if you joined the choir. That's actually how I joined choir. Like it wasn't like I don't know that back in elementary school. I think they had like violin in fourth grade or something. And there was like in Missouri there was like certain things they were teaching or like it's part of the curriculum, I guess. But yeah, I guess that year in fifth grade they offered a recess, and I was like, yeah, I love choir. I guess like a recess. I mean, so
And then you kept doing it, right? I mean, you stuck with it for a good while.
yeah, I guess my whole life. It's just sort of recess changed my life, dude.
I mean, you never know when things will happen. Now, did you grow up in a musical family then, or was it just? I mean, how did the love of music come?
Not really. Like, I think I had some uncles in like Colombia, South America. My mom moved to the States when she was in high school, but like music was very like a part of like my life and like in my family and stuff. But like no one was like an artist or a musician or like whatever. Like I picked up and like learned piano and like we couldn't afford piano. Like that wasn't like even on the radar. I was playing sports. So I like fell in love with music probably after fifth grade, honestly. But the recorder was crazy. Hot cross buns. I don't know if you remember that, but
Hmm.
long story short, yeah, music kind of wasn't necessarily a huge thing in my family, but music was always around, and a lot of different styles were always around, just like all of us, growing up. And then with all the radio stations and internet and every influence you could possibly imagine being at our fingertips in our life, it just made you fall in love with it more. I started writing music just to kind of like have an outlet, my own therapy kind of thing. But I was very much playing sports and thought I was going to play sports my whole life. And then, yeah, just kind of everything changed in a certain focal point, and I moved to Nashville right after I graduated college, and rest is history. So,
I was gonna say, I mean, that's why you did the recess, right? You thought you need a little more time with sports, and
live in Nashville, it's recess, baby, all the time.
well, and I love that too because like you talk about like nowadays we get to experience a whole bunch of genres, a whole different. I mean, everything we can experience. But for you, what music did you grow up with then? Because I believe, like you said, your mom's Colombian. a dad. What was he listening to? Where was the car radio stuck to when when you didn't get to make a choice at that point?
It was we had a lot of John Cougar Mellencamp. We had a lot of I had my stepdad, biological dad. You know, that whole family thing's different, but with my mom, it was we had top 40, and then a lot of Gypsy Kings, and a lot of a lot of Hispanic music growing up, a little salsa dancing in the kitchen, and everything like that. But yeah, my stepdad was like an '80s DJ, uh, like in his college, like not legit, okay, but he did the thing. So there was a lot of influence of like Bon Jovi and like a lot of that as well, and Def Leppard, and then I have my entire country background, obviously growing up in Missouri, and the stations I listened to were 92.3, 93.7, and 107.7. I can remember like it was yesterday. Um, that was the main pop station and the two biggest country stations, and full circle, like in during my career, played all those stations, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, grew up listening to those, so going back to that's really cool. But yeah, to answer your question from I think I kind of answered it, but honestly, like it's kind of all over the place, just like everything else. But yeah, there was, yeah, I don't
You
know.
just never knew.
Just listen to everything, man. Honestly, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, and then obviously for you, when you finally get to pick the music you want, I'm guessing, like you said, you growing up in Missouri, you had the country stations, but you had pop, and I know hip hop and stuff from St. Louis and so forth. So, what did you gravitate toward once it was your time to actually like pick what you wanted to listen to?
Well, Nelly, of course, and um, yeah, Nelly all day. But honestly, it was there were some pinnacle moments in like middle school where like I fell in love with certain styles of country, and it was very much like the pop country that was coming out at the time. Um, Even though I grew up listening to Elvis, everything from Johnny Cash, like it was like there was like this that was like what my parents listened to and like what I loved and like what got me into country. But then like Keith Urban is in the 2000s. We have Rascal Flatts. We have like this different style of country that was happening at the time, and yeah, that changed my life in a huge way for sure. So and I was just like, I remember the first time I heard Rascal Flatts, I was like, yo, this is sick, and I loved it. And I even tried to start a band with three-part harmony. I was like, let's do this.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
I had to go off on my own, but
I think it worked out in the end for you. And we talked about, you growing up in Missouri. I mean, obviously you had a variety of music there too, but how did that shape you growing up there and kind of make you who you are outside of music?
man, well, I grew up in Wildwood, Missouri, so the name kind of says a little bit about it. But honestly, it's like let's just say under an hour outside St. Louis, 45 minutes. So it's a suburb of St. Louis technically now at this point. But when I grew up there, like man, it was like we just had like we had Strecker Road, we had Clayton Road, we had our thing, we had our places we go hang out. We had a Silky Freeze. That's where we kind of hung out. Like we had the thing, and it was an amazing way to grow up. And like honestly, like I want that for my kids as well. Like it was just such a cool. I don't know. It's just like kind of what you hear in a country song. Like that's what my
Mhm.
life was growing up, and that's why everything I do in country is just so. It's just related to the way I was raised, and there's a lot of different influences in my music. But I think as I grew as an artist, I decided to open up another side of me and kind of latch into those different influences outside of just the country lifestyle that I grew up in, and adding maybe some Hispanic stuff and more things that I just like truly loved. And I was like, yo, I just want to like try this because I love it. Maybe other people would love if I did it or like whatever. So it's been a wild journey for all of that. But where I grew up, man, was definitely a huge influence and definitely a cool country lifestyle for sure. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, it sounds like
Wildwood, Missouri, baby. Shout out.
well, I was gonna say, it sounds like you made some great memories growing up there, and like you said, and that's truly you can see that in what you're able to create these days. And you mentioned that you tried maybe the three-part harmony with as a Rascal Flatts cover band, maybe, but I also heard that you fronted a band called Filmore while at the University of Missouri. How'd that go?
That was the 3-part harmony, man.
That was the three-part harmony. I love it.
Why you know that? You're not supposed to know that, dude.
I know everything.
It was the first rendition of Filmore, and then I was like, "Yo, I gotta go solo." And then, and then I came to Nashville, and I really did it like the first year, and then I was like, "No, I gotta go solo again. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can't be Rascal Flatts. I've tried too many times."
I love that. So did you not want to create like the rock band or anything like that, or it was you saw Rascal Flatts doing it, and don't get me wrong, they were doing it well. They were packing out amphitheaters, everything back then.
Bro, they
So
were like the biggest, dude. It was crazy.
I mean, I can't fault you for that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Well,
I tried. No, I kind of was just doing like I was honestly just doing. It wasn't like I did the 3-part harmony thing, but I had all my influences in there. It wasn't like I was doing the same thing they were doing. It was just like I loved the band aspect, and I still do to this day. Like my band is my family, and like ride or die. Like, and that is my crew, and that's the guys on the road. And my brother is my front of house production manager. He run like I look at my brother in the crowd, and he's making me sound good to everybody else. Like that's my younger brother. Like, so it's very much like I create a family on the road, and it feels like I feel like when I listen to Rascal Flatts, like what they had from a band aspect, like the bands you grew up with, like any band, like let's just go Blink 182, or it doesn't matter, like a band you listen to, it just felt cool. Like I was like, yo, it'd be cool, like be in a band, like that's
mhm.
awesome. So I wanted to create that, but that's hard to maintain. That's just easier to be by. I don't know, man.
Well, as you get into Nashville, you eventually learn there's a lot of solo gigs, a lot of acoustic gigs, and then you work your way back up to the band again. And you mentioned moving to Nashville in I believe 2011. You made the move there. You also sold your beloved Jeep. Um, do you still have memories of that? I mean, why'd you do that?
So I sold the Jeep to pay for. It's kind of hard to explain if you don't know the back end of music, but yeah, I sold it to own my masters of like the first things that I had like really like. This is my artistry. This is Filmore, and it paid off. But yeah, I sold it on eBay and took that exact money and paid for 7 songs, and one of them went viral on Spotify and changed my life. So
So that's when you're thankful you did that, right?
yeah, but it was. I'm definitely a crazy person, so that was crazy. I like look back on that and I'm like, wow, that was nuts. Like, like
But you bet on
I'm
yourself.
yeah, for sure. And I hope people see me and like know like bet on yourself. I hope there's a lot of like positivity that I can like spread to the world in what I do. But you got to be crazy to bet on yourself. That's all I know. And it's been a wild ride, man. And that was just the beginning. But like when you remind me of that right now, like oof, that's emotional for me. Sorry, that's crazy.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, that was, and it's crazy to think too. Like, people see what you're doing now, and like I said, we'll get into your new album here in a little bit, Atypical, and working with Pitbull and things like that. But they forget about the fun journey at the start and doing things like that. And it's crazy to when you get the moment to think back on it all.
I mean, I'm glad you just gave me the moment, honestly.
All right, now, so I gotta ask, what was the viral song? Was that Slower?
No,
Or
it was a
okay,
song called Headlights, actually.
okay,
And a lot of those songs, they're on an album called Proof.
I like it.
Um, and it goes really well with the theme of this, but there's not a lot of drinking songs on it, so it doesn't make any sense. But um, yeah, that was like one of the first EPs, LPs that was out. So those 7 songs, that was what the Jeep was given to. And then I didn't have a car for 12 years, so.
That is also wild to think. But then I think you were able to get one. You had a breakout hit in Slower in 2018. Did you have a feeling that day something could help off, make that song pop off at some point, because it's got over 30 million streams on Spotify, and I mean, people love it still to this day.
Um, there's so much like to be said about all the songs. That was the first radio single. And yeah, that song obviously changed my life in a lot of ways, but I think each one had its moment for what they have done for me. Love That About You has way more streams than Slower, actually, in a crazy way. But that one led the door to open up for Slower, and then that gave that one to radio and those type of things. So it all is just like a domino effect. You just got to keep staying the path of, like, obviously just trusting yourself and the music. But yeah, it's like, it's a crazy ride, just like you said, and it's nice to think back on these things. This is nice, man. I appreciate it. Cheers, bro.
That's what we try. That's what we try. We have a good conversation and a good drink, and you've also earned a reputation of being someone, at least through the years, that has said yes to some opportunities that have shown up, especially shows. Why why did you want to do that? Kind of, build a fan. The old, to me, what is now the old fashioned way of legit shows and build up through it. I mean, what was it like to go that route?
It was amazing. It was amazing. And to answer your thing, it's like, Slower happened, but I didn't buy a car. I paid for a tour bus. It's like, and then it's like there's more things, and that is just, it has its scales, and it's like, I'm not home. I don't need a car. So it's like, what's going on? But yeah, with yeah, I don't know. It's what was the question real quick on the
I was
last part
just
you just
saying
said?
yes and doing the shows and
Yeah,
building those fans one at a time.
I mean, I hope that's still happening a little bit these days, but it was different for sure before TikTok, right? Or before COVID, really. And like I said, it was an awesome way to build it. I loved it. Um, I love the grind. I love actually being in front of real people and, like, seeing their response to music, and um, you get a real reaction that's not just like something from behind the screen. Like, it's just in real time. Um, and I think it really shaped me as an artist. It shaped me as a songwriter. It shaped me as a performer. And shout out to every artist that gave me a chance to open for them, because that was the way to build it. Like, if those artists didn't give me that chance, I have no shot today. And I put my performance against anybody, just because I've done it a million times at this point. So it's, I wish and I hope that still happens. It's still like that. I'm still playing shows no different than I did before, but the world is different, just like you said. So, but man, live shows are the best, and I hope everyone's. I need more of it, and I hope anyone that's coming up now sees the value in that, because it's important.
Well, absolutely. And I've got some questions on live shows here in a minute. But also, you talk about how, the songwriting and things happen and you're able to meet people. I believe there was one show you flew out to California for a gig that you lost money on, but you wrote a song about it called Country Song, and it only exists because of that. Can you tell me that story?
How are you finding all this stuff? Um, yeah. So I went to Buck Owens Palace to open up for Keenan Smith, and that's in Bakersfield, California. And then the next day, I went down to Anaheim uh, because Easton Corbin was playing there, and I was just trying to hang out. But, like, I think, well, we had a show right there that same night, I think. And but he was at the House of Blues, and I got paid $250 to go to California with a full band. So imagine how much money that loss is, right? But um, I brought a writer with me who actually wrote Slower with me and other songs as well. He's even a writer on my new song with Pitbull, Yeehaw. So Justin Ebach, shout out. Love that man to death. Yeah, we were in the green room of Buck Owens Palace, and he was kind of riffing on this idea, and that was what Country Song turned into. And I've seen a lot of other country songs before and after and since and whatever, but our version was pretty awesome, and it was cool when those songs like make the album, the debut album and things like that. And you look back on stories like that. But yeah, we wrote that in a green room, and then um, we tracked it in out the back of the rental car in the Anaheim House of Blues parking garage, actually. Well, I haven't thought about this in a second. And that was nuts. And we tracked the guitar that you hear on my first album, the acoustic guitar part that's like riffed and cut. that was recorded in the parking garage of the Anaheim House of Blues.
I am glad I asked that question because you put out your debut album "State I'm in 2020. I mean, what was it like to kind of actually hit that point? You'd done some EPs, some other things, but what was it like to actually get the album out and share that, and kind of show all the different places you've been?
That was huge. It was cool. We did a lot of coordinate stuff and kind of like talked about the locations of each song and how it's written. But I think it's easy to forget, and people don't realize over time. And I feel like it happens all the time now, especially. We put all these songs out and then they get compiled into a record. So some of those songs were singles over the course of. Like, and there were a lot of songs um, over the course of like 2 years. So like really from like and end of 2017, top of 2018, those songs were already like being put out, and then they all got put together on the final project. So it's really like a 3-year project put into one in 2020, right? So it's like there was a lot of life lived in those records and the years before when I wrote them. So like really, that album feels like 6 years of my life. But then you look at the moniker of 2020, and then you move on and write the next record, and you're already writing that next the ones that didn't make 2020, they make the next record and you keep building, right? So and then this recent record I put out, Atypical, like I pulled songs from 10 years ago. I just like I write so much music, but I was like, why do I listen to this song all the time? I'm gonna put this on this record, and I did. So I don't know, I just feel like State of Man was a huge part of my life, but it feels like way more than just 2020. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like weird to think about. But I feel like everyone just found it then, and then it becomes more for, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Hmm.
so weird to think about. Anyway.
Well, I was gonna say on Atypical, you talk about it. One props to you. 21 songs on the album, fantastic record by the way. But 21
Thanks, man.
songs, like you said, you co-wrote all of them, and you pulled some from so long ago. Why was it important to one legit be part of every single song, but also like you said, pull some of those songs that you've loved that just for whatever reason didn't fit the right project until now.
Honestly, in my whole career, there's only one song that I haven't written that I put out, and it's a feature that I'm on with Alana Springsteen. And that's just because I believed in her as an artist, and she was an opener on my first headlining tour, and everything else is usually something that's personal to me, or I wrote it for a purpose, or I felt like I need to put it out, or whatever. So yeah, with Atypical, the 10-year thing really happened because of this one song that I had like a voice memo of on my phone. It was a breakup song, not about my wife. So, and I'm like, yo, like I love this, and as a songwriter, these are all my babies, and I'm like, yo, this is getting cut by said artist, right? And multiple people like said they're cutting it, and I was like, sick, like it's gonna be out in the world, like I'm pumped. And then like when it went through so many holds, like it never came out with other artists. And I'm not gonna say who or whatever, but it was like I was like, I want to put it out. Like, screw it. So then I was like, when I looked back and I was like, wow, I wrote this in 2017, and now it's on this album. And I was like, okay, well I've already like written this album and picked it out. And as a songwriter, I turn in 80 to 100 and something songs a year, just as a writer. That's outside of everything else I do as an artist. So like, because I love writing, like it's my favorite thing in the world. But that opened up a can of worms, basically, man. It was just like, I'm already signed to Pitbull. I'm already like, I danced between genres a little bit, and I was like, all right, well, this song's from 10 years ago, so I think everything's free game now. So then I was like, then I like made myself crazy, and I was like going through all the songs for like way too long, and like yeah, sitting in a bedroom trying to just figure. It was a long 8 months, and I was also like, I recorded that whole album like as a new dad, and so like every vocal on that album is recorded between the hours of 8:30 in the morning and 10:30 in the morning, which is not like normal in the music industry. Like if like it's like that's not what happens. So I would drop my kid at daycare, go sing the vocals, go to a write at 11, go edit everything afterwards. So it was wild.
I love that though, because I mean that's just life. That was life, and you know it's cool to see what you're able to do, and you know off the Atypical album, uh, you know a couple Love at First Fight, Hola, you know are some of my favorite songs. I mean, where did the inspiration of Atypical? Is it just because, like you said, you decided to go different than what you had done before, and everything was fair game, or why did you settle on that title and end up with 21 songs?
I think the crazy part is like I feel like I don't feel like the album is like that different than anything that I've done. I feel like it just kind of puts a bow on everything in my career to this point. I think I took a couple risks, but I honestly like I've always pushed boundaries on all my songs, really. So this one just there was a little bit like I don't there was I didn't play the game as much, yeah, for sure. But I mean I got a song on there with Pitbull called Yeehaw, like we're going for it. And I just wanted to put something that like I truly loved without people telling me what I was supposed to put out and supposed to do. You know, the music industry's crazy and people are always chasing things. I've always just tried to be honest to who I am at the time and put out my favorite music, hoping that someone is going to relate. I think by putting this project out the way I did, there's a lot of breakup songs on there as well, and that's what I was able to pull from 10 years to pull things. Um, you know, to get away with having to sing breakup songs. No, I'm joking. But got away with it. No, but yeah. So singing, I'm excited. It just opened up a whole nother thing in my life, basically. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of going off here, but it just felt
Hey,
like the whole thing was just awesome. And I feel like now there's gonna be dad songs on the next album. I don't know. There's gonna be a bunch of stuff, but
or at least some Sleepless Nights songs on there, and but no, I mean, I love that you
lullabies.
mentioned, yeah, hey, you could incorporate some. I've seen it
Hey,
happen. You know, but you talk about what you were able to do. I mean, you were officially able to collaborate with Pitbull on Yeehaw. You're the first country artist signed to his Mr. 305 label. I mean, what was it like to kind of mix Nashville and Miami on that one? Because I know you've done some stuff with him in the past, but to be an official collaboration on a record that you're on his label and everything had to be pretty special.
no, it's opened a lot of doors. It still is. It's been the craziest thing, but you know, there's so much work that goes into that, and that man's like a mentor to me, and it's been amazing, just in general, because he gives a whole nother perspective outside of the country realm, and that's a really cool thing for me. And it, you know, it allows me to unapologetically, you know, dance between two lanes, and that's what I. It's all the things I love. I don't know why people can't just do music they love. So that's really the whole thing. The Atypical album, to go back to the last question, was basically like there was a group of people that like I had a song on the first EP with the 7 songs called Anything But Typical, and people started showing up with like tattoos of the ABT in green, and so these like they created a whole fan base with that, and then there's like an Anything But Typical page, and people started doing that, and so that was always in my head because it was like I was always like from day one on the first album I was like born to be original, anything but typical, like that was my motto, and that's in a song on there. So when I got to this album and I got to be atypical, it felt like I was blending the whole idea together in one swoop, and it felt like a really cool bow on like what my career's been and like where I'm at. So sorry, it took me a second. I was like trying to remember like how I wanted to answer that, but yeah.
Well, but no, I mean, it's cool to see how, and talking to folks, through this, I think one of the hardest things, and if people haven't realized this by listening, they should by now. Like Nashville is not easy to be yourself through and through all the way, and do the music you want to do, and for you to be able to break through and do that. I mean, is awesome. And you talk about you love the songwriting aspect, but you're pretty well a part of all the creative. I mean, how does that process work for you? Why do you love that so much? Because I mean, I feel like that's just an outlet for folks, and you get to bring things to life in a whole new way.
I mean, you're kind of just telling me why I love it right there. Like the way you just said that, I was like, man, can I repeat that? Because that's why I
Sure.
love it. But I mean, no, man. I mean, like simple, short of it. Like I don't know. I feel like the creating process. I think it comes down to one moment for me. I think it's like a full circle moment, right? It's like say I write the song. I remember the day I wrote it. And by the way, like there is a point in my career where like I'm cutting outside. So like there are amazing writers in this town. Like I mean, like a million people more talented than myself, and like I mean, it's a yeah. The community's insane, and a smarter man would cut more outside songs. But like I said, I'm atypical. I've stayed true to myself. I'm part of like everything that I put together. I want to feel real and personally me. But there will be there's too many songs I'm hearing. I'm like, hey, can I cut? I want to cut that. That'd be cool. And they tell my story as well. So I want to do more of that in the future. Just don't know why I went on that tangent, but that's the only thing about. But yeah, I don't know. What was your question again on the last part?
Just the creative part, like you said, it's kind of full circle. You begin to write it, and then you see it
Oh
come to
yeah,
life and hit the studio and go.
the best moment is the best moment is I write the song. It takes forever to get songs out. Usually, it doesn't happen that quick. Then you produce a song, put it together, sing it, live with it for a long time. For me, I change the production a lot, try to get it how I want. Now we're talking like months, and then you have to have a whole marketing plan, and you want everything to match the song. You want the video, all the Now we're in a whole world of content, and that's even crazier. And so when you finally get to the moment that you actually get to get on stage in front of your own fans, when you finally get there, and hoping that all those pieces worked, the best feeling in the world is when I'm on stage, thousands of people are singing my song back. I throw the mic out, they're singing the words back. When I feel that moment, it's that hands down my whole career has been like that's what I chase because I know the day I wrote it when it never existed. I know what I went through to get to that point, and now people are singing it back. Like that's crazy,
Well, I
and
was gonna say,
that's all you can ask for.
well, and you've been able to have those moments, whether it's the fans singing the songs back. I mean, you were the first independent artist featured on the cover of Spotify's Hot Country. I mean, when you think back about those moments, I mean, it has to be pretty cool to one to have those, but also push your career further because those are those moments that build to the next moment and so forth.
And I remember a lot of them. Like I mean, I have video. I mean, we have so much video of things too that you kind of don't know if you're remembering the moment or the video. But there's a lot of moments like that in my career that I look back on and I'm super thankful for. And a lot of it just has to do with I don't know, man, the fan base has been amazing for what you can build from what you said earlier, like from an actual touring aspect. And I think that's been one of the coolest things is like having real, true fans. And uh, hey, man, I'm still doing music. I've never had a real job, you know what I'm saying? So
And you didn't have a car for a while either, so it's
yeah,
going
so
great.
I technically still don't have a car. I just bought my wife a car. So
See, I like it. I like it. Keeping the tradition going,
keeping it going, man.
and for everything that you've been able to do, I'm guessing one of the cooler things was getting to hit the Opry stage. What was that moment like?
It was cool, man. I haven't been back to the Opry in a second, but I think I played it like 12 times. Um, and each one's been a different experience. And obviously, there's different people on the bill and stuff. But I'm a huge fan of the Opry, and I want to get back to playing the Opry more. So this is my shout out to the Grand Ole Opry to get back in the circle because yeah, I've loved every experience there. I mean, I even did one. It was one of my last times, just because life's been crazy in the last year and a half, and I toured Europe with Pitbull. I mean, it's been hard to balance everything, but I've stayed touring and working, and everything's been awesome. But from a Grand Ole Opry perspective, I remember I played USA with Pitbull with the Empire State Building behind me, red, white, and blue. They changed it like for the NBC special. I remember like getting on a red eye that night because I was making sure I flew back to play the Opry because they had like this special needs choir and like a couple, like this huge group of people. And I was singing with them all backing me. And it was like this cool, huge moment for the Opry and all these kids. And I didn't know which moment to love more. Like I just like left that and then I was at the Opry experiencing a whole nother thing. And I was like, it was the coolest like 2 days of my life. And so the Opry just has so many core memories for me. Also, crazy thing about the Opry as well. My Opry debut is June 14th. Okay, that's the date. That was the day my kid was born.
Ah.
Yeah, because I have all these plaques in the hallway that go down, like everything tours, everything. And I didn't realize it. Like it was like probably like half a year into my kid being alive. I'm in the hallway, like taking him to his bedroom, and I look at my Opry debut. I'm like, "Yo, that's your birthday." It's like, so the Opry, like, I don't know. I think we're kindred spirits. I love the Opry, so huge shout out.
I love that. Well, I mean, some things just meant to be, and like you said, those are special moments that you'll always remember. And now you have a little bit of a further memory to go with it. And you've got to play cool places, like you said. You did Europe with Pitbull. You did the Opry. You've done Red Rocks. I mean, are there still bucket list places for you to go? I mean, where you still got to check off?
Dang, that's so tough.
Nothing
I
like
feel
putting
like
you on the spot, right?
I feel like I played so many places I love. Like I think it's gonna be something like unexpected because it's like even like Watershed years ago, like that was just the gorge, like the view. Like there's so many different, and there's certain festivals that have like a place in your heart because like the moment was crazy or the stage, that kind of thing. I mean, yeah, I've played some cool like views for sure, but
Cool.
I think Hollywood Bowl would be sick.
Hmm.
Um, just because I was supposed to play it on the 2022 Pitbull tour. Something got switched up. I don't know what it was for. I forget. But I didn't play that show, and so I'm gonna get back to Hollywood Bowl. I think that'd be just cool to say, I did. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've played like a show that is gonna have more value with a core memory because of the song or what's happening at the time, and I'm sure I have moments like that coming up as well. Um, okay, maybe the O2 Arena. Yeah, that's probably pretty sick. Maybe that.
I like it. I
I
like
got
it.
to do that twice with Pitt. That was crazy. Yeah, that was sick.
See memories everywhere. You've
Yeah,
been able to do so many cool things, and for you, you talk about it, and I think this about live shows all the time, and why they're so special is it's one thing to listen to the song, it's another to see it truly brought to life. From the record to the stage, and see what you guys can put behind it with a full band or anything like that. So, for you, what's the best part about being on stage and sharing your music?
man. I try to like make my show like a full story. Like it's not like I mean, yeah, I'll be like, yo, like this song's about my ex. Like I hate her. Sick. Like yeah, she took my dog. Like she's the worst. Great. Um, that's how we start the show. Okay. But no. But there's like certain songs I tell like the story about like when I wrote it or like I move through some songs faster than others. Um, and I feel like if I can tell a story on stage, keep the flow of the show going, relatively quickly, but also like still relating to people. I really want people to party and have a good time. The show should just be like something to like get away from life and release and like have a great time. I still want you, and I think if you know my music, like you can relate to the songs, but when you get to the breakup songs, sometimes you say a couple things like whatever. But I feel like that moment on stage, like I don't know, all of it's special to me, and I think if I'm doing the show right, people are feeling the way that I should feel on stage as well, and I think that's like what I'm going for the whole time, honestly. Um, but yeah, without a man
Well,
bun.
so you brought it full circle. I love it. Because I mean, when people get to see themselves in the songs, I mean, they get transported somewhere, and whether that's how you saw it exactly, or maybe how they ended up seeing it, is pretty special. And I love to ask this too, because with live shows, things can change. Obviously, how you did it on the album and live, as time goes on, things can change. So I'm always curious about this. I asked what you're drinking at the beginning. You got some Jack Daniels. Now I got to ask this one toward the end, and that is, what is your favorite song of yours to perform live right now?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
frickin' okay. Yeehaw is like so fun right now to play. Like honestly, and it's because we did Dick Clark's ball drop. Like I did the Kelly Clarkson show. There's been a lot of really cool moments around that song. It's only been a couple months, but I was just in Houston at the House of Blues in Houston, actually, right before the day before my daughter was born, and the day before my album dropped, because I decided to drop an album and a baby on the same day. Um, she already stole the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? She just did it. She's already changed my life. There's your answer for her daughter. She already did it. She did it right from day one.
I love it.
But I think Betcha Gonna, if you've heard it on the new album, it was a single that came out the year before as these songs built towards the album. Um, that one feels special. I don't know what it is, but it feels like what Love That About You felt to me um, years ago as well. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Love That About You, like super viral, super sick. Slower went to radio, which was right after that same time. Bet You Gonna feels like a combination of those songs in a weird way. And it's always how I wrote about my wife a little bit, like in pockets of like when we first met and like the certain things I want to put together about her. Um, I've never seen her have a cigarette or put a Bible by her bed, but that's in the second verse. But that was more like when you co-write, you kind of put different things into the storyline. But for me, like that song always felt like me and my wife a lot, and so it's just really special right now to sing because everything we're going through in life with the kids, and I've been away a lot. So when I sing that one, it kind of feels, God, it sounds so cheesy. It feels like home a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So, and then the other one is called Yeehaw, and you already know what that's about. So crazy, but
I was gonna say just slightly different songs.
I mean, they couldn't be more different. I mean, that's why the album is atypical. And at the end of the day, like I think if you put both those songs together, like that's me. Like no joke. Like you got like the dad side, you have I like to drink, I like to hang out. Like you got the party side, you got the artist side, you got like everyone that hustled, like the person that chased and hustled this career, done all this stuff. It's like Bet You Gonna feels like it combines it a little bit. But only combines it if I add Yeehaw. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there. It's like
It's got to show the complete picture of you.
I think if someone wants to like leave this interview and like get to know me, like okay, how atypical is he? Like you play Yeehaw and then you play Betchigan and you know me as an artist. Like that's it.
Well, that's why I
Or
love
you're
asking
completely
that
confused.
question.
It's one of two. Like, it's like
Well, but that's why I love asking that question, because you really get to see maybe what song you just love. For whatever reason, it takes you somewhere special, or you get to do something special. You get to do a different arrangement or a different setup. And like you said, that's live music. You get to do those things. You get to tell the whole story along the way, and they get to see the atypical Fillmore.
yeah, the show. I mean, it's like that's what it's about, man. I can't wait to like. Man, there's so many steps to this career, right? And like when I get to like keep moving up the ranks, it's like you can tell the story so much when you're on a bigger stage, man. It's easy to tell that story. There's way cool ways. I want to use fire, you know what I'm saying? No shit. I need many screens. I need people coming out of the ceilings. Like let's tell this story. I
And
want a
this is
Taylor
why you're
Swift
not allowed
hit.
to have a car, because you put all the money back into the show.
That's a real thing, actually. That was a real thing for a long time. You got to bet
Uh,
on yourself, man. Atypical all day. Just keep living, baby.
Well, and like I said, it's working out well for you. The album's fantastic. If you haven't, folks, go listen to it. Then go down that rabbit hole to the many other songs that you've been able to put out along the way. But Atypical's out. I know you're at home. You're on night duty with the baby. But what else can folks expect from you the rest of 2026? Because I'm guessing at some point you want to make sure you get out there and get to celebrate Atypical a little bit more.
Oh yeah. I've been touring since the top of the year. There's been a lot of cool shows so far. Right now, during this interview, I'm a couple weeks into just took a little time off. Just only, no one worry. Only like 4 weeks home, and I still went and played golf with Tim Tebow in Florida for the Tim Tebow Foundation and all that stuff 2 days ago. But I'm still staying active and doing everything I possibly can. And there's a lot of shows coming in the next couple months, and a lot of cool announcements showing up in the next month and a half as well, for the whole rest of the year. And I've been working towards this for a very long time, so I'm very excited for what the year has ahead of me. And honestly, I'm excited to get Atypical really rolling out there and have a lot more people hear it. I feel like there's a song for everyone on this album, and I hope that you can find that for yourself. Unless you just really hate my voice, then you're probably not going to like the album. It's up to you. But
I don't know how they could. You know, there truly is something on there for everyone, and if nothing else, support a girl dad and a boy dad. I mean, you know, diapers aren't cheap these days.
let's go. Yeah. See, we got all the bases covered. I like this.
Well, Fillmore, man, it has been a blast to go down the journey with you, share a drink, and folks, like I said, go find Atypical, listen top to bottom. You won't regret it, man. Cheers.
Dude, cheers, man. It means the world, dude. Thank you so much for having me. You're awesome.